Hi, it's Gerald, also known as Joe Remax. Today I decided to talk to you about how to choose a listing agent in Thailand. So what you should be looking for in a listing agent, what kind of attributes would be good to look for. So I took my top 5 and we'll go through those together to see, when you're evaluating one agency or one agent against another, some things that you should be looking for that will lead you to better service and hopefully higher level of success when selling your home. So to start with, let's look at our 5 things and then I'll break them down for you after that. So we'll dig a little deeper into each one. Knowledge. Your agent should be knowledgeable. They must be good at communications. They should have some kind of process that's well defined. Marketing reach. This agent must be able to market your property effectively. And reliability. Those would be probably my top 5. So let's dig into knowledge. I would say that when you look at knowledge, your agent should have a good knowledge of your listing area. It's key to really pitching your property in the context of the neighborhood, in the context of competing listings in the area. Market trends, what's going on in the market in that area, and so what is happening? Are prices going up, going down? Are they slow? Is that hot? And all of this will allow you to position your property correctly for the trends of today. Finally, they should have some knowledge of law. It's important to know that all agents in Thailand are not licensed. There is no licensing. So when you're picking an agent, it's different from other countries where we assume that they are well-versed, that they've taken tests, that they know what's going on. In Thailand, that's not always the case. So you need to make sure that they know what are the legal aspects to changing property. Moving on to communications. Again, we're dealing in Thailand, so depending on your native tongue and the agent's ability to understand that, we should look at language. Can they understand you? Secondly, even if you looked for an agent who is a native of your country, can they speak Thai? So I tend to look for someone who can speak Thai, because the seller or the government agency during transfer, that most likely will be in Thai. And someone who you can communicate effectively with. Another thing to watch when you're talking to your agent, how well do they listen? Are they just talking at you, or are they listening to you, to your specifics about your property, to your goals, to your concerns? Are they able to listen to you and understand what you are trying to tell them? Another key thing to look for is, does your agent ask questions? If they're not asking questions, it's my belief that they're not doing their job. They're not probing into specifics about your property or specifics about you. They're not clearing up in their own mind any ambiguity or any questions that they may have. And effectively, to sell your house, they need to be an expert on your house and not kind of second guessing. That will sabotage the whole sales process when they get a client into view and they can't answer questions, or say, I don't know. The chances of selling your property go down. Here's a trick. Is your agent taking notes? Are they writing things down? That's a sign of a good agent, in my opinion. A good agent will take notes. They may even have forms that they're filling in about your property or specific questions. This means they won't forget. It means they're tuned in to you, not about them just getting a listing. It's about understanding your listing. So that's a good thing to watch for. Is your agent taking notes when they're talking to you? And finally, communication is going to come into play when it gets into negotiations. So pick an agent where you think they have a negotiation style that kind of aligns with yours. I wouldn't say that because we're dealing with multiple cultures here, if you happen not to be Thai, you happen to be a different culture, then what may work in your culture doesn't always work here. In general, negotiations are very soft in Thailand. So choose an agent who can understand you, but that agent should have a very good grasp of dealing with the Thai culture. And ultimately, probably a Thai national is best at that. What about a process? And this is where I think it will separate the amateurs from the professionals. As I spoke earlier, anyone can call themselves an agent. There's nothing preventing that. But does that agent who's going to be responsible for selling your property have a process? Can they explain to you what they're going to do for you exactly? Or like, okay, give it to me, I show my friends. That is probably a very weak approach. They should be able to tell you how they evaluate your property. How do they arrive at the price? Is it just you told them you want that much? That's one way. How does the legal aspect of you engaging them as an agent work? Is there contracts to sign? How long? What are the responsibilities of the agent in such an agreement? What are your responsibilities in such an agreement? Do they have that? What are they going to do to market your property? And that's a very good question. What is their ability to market? And if they have a good ability, they should be able to explain to you in no uncertain terms how they're going to position your market in social media, web marketing, signage, brochures, network, whatever it is. They should be able to tell you that. If they don't know, you've probably not got the most effective marketer as an agent. How are they going to conduct viewings? They should be able to tell you what is the process that they follow when they conduct a viewing, how much advance notice you need, what if there's a tenant in the property, those kind of things. What is their, when it comes to negotiations, do they have any process? Do they have any techniques that they plan to use to help you? And granted, negotiations are a little bit more fluid, but they should at least recognize that it is a step and you need to pass through that step successfully. And it can be a very gentle step in which you can lose a committed buyer. How do they take offers? First come, first serve, whatever it is, they should be able to explain to you. Do they use purchase agreements? Do they enter? It's not required by law. So what is their contracting when it comes to an offer? What do they do with it? Do they enter a purchase agreement? If so, how does that work? And can they explain to you how the property transfer works? And if they can do all this, I think they're a pretty well established agent. They know what they're doing, they have a process, and process begets success. So if they have a process, the chances of you selling your home are a lot higher and nothing will go awry from start to finish. Marketing reach is our next topic. So no matter how nice your agent is, no matter how knowledgeable they are, if they can't reach prospective buyers, the chances of you selling is diminished. They should be able to answer questions about what are their marketing channels. Do they use social media? Do they have a website? Do they have third-party websites? Do they do newspaper advertising? They should be able to explain that to you and demonstrate to you what channels they will use to promote your property. And marketing coverage. So given these channels, what is the coverage and the reach that they're going to have? Are they going to reach 10 people or are they going to reach 10,000 people? Important to know when you go to sell your property. Some properties are very exclusive. You don't need to reach the masses. You need to reach a niche buyer market. So you evaluate according to your property. And finally, how about reliability? That's something you want to look in an agent. Again, back to the fact that not all agents belong to an agency. They may be a freelance, they may be working independently, and you should be aware of that when you start. So typically, someone with an agency behind them are more reliable, just in that if they're away on vacation, there's someone to pick up the phone, that type of thing. So what is the size of their team? Are they working alone? Do they have 5 people working with them? Do they have an admin team behind them? Good to know. Just explore that when you're interviewing your agent. How many years have they been in the market? Someone who's just entered the market may leave the market as quickly as they entered. Someone who's been there for 5 years, 3 years, 20 years, they're more likely to be there for the next 5, 3, or 20 years. References. Can your agent provide you any references? If so, what are they? Just the provision of references is a good start. What is the contingency? So let's say your agent is unable to finish the job. Or what's their plan if they are not personally available? And for example, someone with an agency, probably the agency will stand behind that listing and that transaction and support you ongoing. Independence is not always a bad thing, but you need to understand if this person is ill or out of the loop, then it may fall to you to have to deal with that. And finally, after sales service, what can they do to support you after the sales? You may not be looking for any, or you may be looking for certain things, and what are they able to do? What is their bookkeeping? It's kind of back to the support and what's the team. There are legal requirements about keeping records of transactions. Do they do that? And if the government came to you looking for those kind of records, do they have it? You want to think about these different things to find an agent that will really be able to maximize the chances of you selling. And I hope this gives you a few insights, some little question you can ask, or some evaluation you can do to find a really good agent to sell your home. And I thank you for listening. If you have any comments, any additional ideas, these are my top 5. There are probably 100 other things we should be evaluating when we're picking an agent. But I'll share these ones with you. And if you have any further ideas, put them down in the comments below and let's start a conversation about it. Thank you very much for watching. Catch you next time.